Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. I'm called Maureen Z. We begin with our top stories. Dikolo eviction victims have received a decision by the administrative court cancelling the declaration of public utility with a mix of feelings. Although they have expressed a joy with court decision, they are still in a dilemma on whether or not they shall be compensated. And 80% of Cameroonian companies are threatened by cyber criminality, a problem that has forced many companies to shut down exports in the sector are worried about the situation. And militants of the Social Democratic Front will tomorrow, May 26, celebrate 33 years of political activities in Cameroon. How they are preparing for the commemoration. More have them in this edition of Newscast in the English language.
Canal International. Canal International.
Good evening once more. Dikolo eviction victims have received a decision by administrative court cancelling the declaration of the public utility with a lot of mixed feelings, although they have a
sigh of relief for these families, most of whom have been without shelter ever since they were forcefully evicted from their houses in Dikolo Bali, a neighborhood in the Douala 1 municipality.
Aujourd'hui, je suis contente.
Today, I am happy that there is a favorable decision. Cameroon's justice is real, even if there are weaknesses. I am convinced that there are still men in Cameroon that can stand for others. I lost my radio station here and other documents, and I don't know how they can be compensated. Some schools of thought have commended the decision by the administrative court cancelling the declaration of public utility that finally gives reason to the victims who have all along described the eviction as abusive, illegal and illegitimate.
It shows how rapid, how frivolous our authorities can put a lot of people in problems by destroying the property. It is normal that the court can come in after such a destruction, and if the Supreme Court, if the matter goes to the Supreme Court, holds that same judgment, it means that somebody has to pay some damages.
At a press briefing in Douala, May 25, 2023, the defense lawyer for the evicted victims also expressed the need for the more than 200 evicted families to be compensated. It should be recalled that the victims had on several occasions resisted the appropriation of their land, but the government declared the area as a public utility.
And a report coming up talks about the history of the Dikolo eviction, how it all started in 2015 from eviction to protest, and how government eventually intervened to solve the problem. More in the following story. Its history dates as far back as 2015, when a Cameroonian based in Canada by name Olivier Chi Nwanko bought the land in question from government. 7 years after, the Dikolo affair erupted again, this time on May 14, 2022, and transitions into what is being baptized today as the Dikolo affair. More than 200 households, approximately 1,000 people, mostly Sawa indigenes, lost their homes and land towards they described as a brutal eviction exercise. Most were surprised by the caterpillars that pulled up and took down their houses. On the site on that fateful day, and days and weeks after the eviction exercise, their pain could be seen and felt on placards. At the site, they brandish their grievances, telling the world they have lost everything. Where do they go from here? They cried about the future of their kids. It was difficult for them to leave the site. As days passed, they kept resisting with their placards and protests that saw the backing of Sawa chiefs headed by King Bell of the Bell Canton. The affected dressed in black for months to make their voices heard. Their actions pushed the government through the governor to suspend works on the site said to be cleared by authorities of the city of Douala for the construction of a hotel. The people could not tell the exact faces behind the demolition, but accused government of facilitating the destruction without evaluating the consequences. All they knew was that the city authorities had allocated the land they considered their village to a private promoter who intends to build a hotel. Government silence on the issue provoked more tension, and as pressure kept mounting, the people pressed for their compensation and dragged the case to court. While government talked of an inquiry commission to push the investigation, results of investigations which are still pending up to moment. 1 year after the court ruled in favor of the people. What becomes of the Dikolo victims? What happens next? Questions that are yet to get answers. And we went further to know how the land in question looks like. This May 25, and this is a piece of land in question. There is greenery everywhere. Trees have grown, grass has grown. The land has become a kind of a virgin forest. And Kamas returns this Thursday morning in Sangmili Jah and Lobo Division in the south region of Cameroon after the inter-community confrontation attention following the death of a 32-year-old boy whose family accused a herbalist of casting a spell on him, and after 3 years of attempt, no results. The alarm by the family that resulted to this inter-community confrontation and consequent destruction that the administrative authorities succeeded to get solutions to the problem. More in the following story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo.
The town of Sangmili this Thursday morning, population activities fluid, security, and movement around. The outcome of not only the crisis meeting by the administrative authorities in place, governor, SO and DO, but also family discussion with two ministers.
We have to discuss with our family because we are a family. It's a big family. That means the people come from those who are Bulu and those who come from everywhere. But we are in the same family. And what this afternoon is just to give advice to deal with their people. Because when you see a problem that can occur 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, there is something. And we are deeper into the process of solution.
Yesterday, Sangminima was like a war zone. The youth with machetes, in other words, looted places, destroying all along their way. The bone of contention is the death of one of the native of the area, 32-year-old Jasen. According to a relative, the young man engaged into a business with a friend of a different ethnic group some 3 years ago, and along the line a discord arose. The other, a herbalist, then cast a spell on him. Realizing the danger, his family approached the traditional healer, who agreed to treat him. But this attempt, 3 years running, yielded no result until the Black Wednesday yesterday when he died. Coming few days after the National Day celebration and after the many talks condemning hate speech, tribalism, discrimination and many to kill.
An alleged gang of criminals reported to have been terrorizing and causing pain to some inhabitants of some neighborhoods in Cameroon's economic city Douala have finally been neutralized by the police. They were presented to the press this Thursday, as we hear the following story with our reporter Saleh Sharifa.
Reported cases of armed robbery has been witnessing a rise in frequency across Cameroon at large, and the country's economic hub, Douala in particular. And as the perpetrators refined their strategies, so has the police been aiming to shoot without missing, an ambition that is apparently bearing fruits as they presented their recent catch this Thursday, May 25, 2023.
During the night of May 18, 2023, our collaborators of the Anti-Crime Brigade have caught a group of 4 individuals specialized in the illegal sale and consumption of narcotics, as well as a significant amount of their merchandise. These young men will be referred to the competent prosecutor. We proceeded to extensive investigations, which have led to the arrest of 2 members of this organized criminal group, who will be placed at the disposal of the prosecutor of the Republic, while research is intensifying in order to arrest the rest of the criminals.
In 2022, 5 individuals had robbed a company in the city of Douala, where a security agent was brutally wounded. 2 of them escaped to the northern part of Cameroon after a serious investigations and collaborations with the population. Security experts have laid hands on them.
And the exploitation allowed us to get our hands on 9 other individuals with whom they had formed another organized criminal group perpetrating robberies in the city of Douala on motorcycles, as well as the security guard of a local company whom they had contacted with a view to commit another robbery in the recent days. The 12 individuals arrested will be brought before the competent prosecutor's office.
Agents of forces of law and order have called on the population to keep being in collaboration to put an end to the rising insecurity. They equally ensure the population to work hard for the security of the population.
Close to 80% of Cameroonian companies are threatened by cyber criminality, a problem that has forced many companies to shut down. Experts in the sector are worried and have told a government or are pressing on a government to seek solutions to the problem. More in the following story. As the world goes digital, so too are companies in Cameroon, but they face serious threats linked to cyber criminality.
The reality on the ground is that many people are not really aware of what the risk and the problems that they are facing on the internet. And the data of many people are exposed to attackers, especially ransomware attacks, where your data for a company have been encrypted by an attacker and you are asked to pay a ransom to recover your data, which you are not even sure to recover if you even end up paying the ransom. So this is one of the most problem companies are facing today.
About 80% of Cameroonian companies are affected by cyber crimes, according to statistics from experts dealing with the sector.
We have about 80% of asset of company we are vulnerable to secure, to provide a solution, IT solution to government in order to help them to secure the IT asset.
Your customer.
And talking about solutions,
we have a lot of solutions of checkpoint. We are here with us. We also have Acronis for the data protection regarding the backup of data.
Specialized companies dealing with cybercrime are creating awareness, particularly with companies on measures to take to prevent the cankerworm. With digitalization of Cameroon's economy, one killer of companies in Cameroon. And militants of the Social Democratic Front Party, the SDF, will be celebrating 33 years of existence. That's on May 26, when the party came on board. As to the commemoration, preparations are ongoing. The following report looks into the state of the party in recent years, marked by ups and downs. His report.
As the Social Democratic Front clocks 33, there is much to reflect on, to be able to restore the heavy weight of the opposition party greatly affected by the different squabbles. Founded in May 26, 1990, the SDF for decades stood tall as a leading opposition party in Cameroon, constituting a major threat to the ruling party in presidential, municipal and legislative elections. But the story hasn't been same within the last 10 years, especially with the outbreak of the ongoing Anglophone crisis in 2016, shattering the base of the political outfit, and the chairman, Ni John Fronti, constantly harassed by separatist fighters. Blowing another anniversary candle, the Social Democratic Front continued re-strategizing and restructuring in all the 10 regions of the country, especially when some party bigwigs like Jean-Michel Ninche were bundled out of the party by the National Executive Committee on February 25th for grossly violating Article 8.2 of the party rules. And months after their firing, some of the 34 members have been get-scratching, seeking to be reinstated, but the decision seems irreversible. As the SDF celebrate 33 years of political activities, it is time to ponder over the pending court case between the G27 and Ni John Fronti and the Secretary General. Time to reflect over the long-awaited party convention slated to take place in July and maybe marking the beginning of a new era with Ni John Fronti stepping down as chairman as he had earlier announced. Still represented at the National Assembly and the Senate, it is a sign of hope for the followers of the opposition party that came out in their numbers to take part in the 2023 March Past of the National Day across the regions.
And that report by Hyson Chow brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. We're coming up next is The Brief with Leo Pujol. As for me, I'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.